Hey, sorry. Welcome back to the channel. I just want to quickly say thank you to YouTube and UFC coming together. We had a total, I don't know if you are involved with YouTube, but they had a total competition. It was about 91 million people worldwide. This took place yesterday, and we all participated in getting in the octagon and fighting, and we just had a competition. We whittled it down to one person, the champion. And I would like to say that was not me. I was disqualified on my first fight. Apparently it is illegal to go into the ring with a bulletproof vest, a baseball bat, an axe, shotgun, and boot spurs. They were like, you can't do that. And I was like, they're trying to fight me. Like, what do you mean? They were like, yeah, it's the point. So apparently you're supposed to, like, have tape on your hands and wear underwear. And I was like, why would I do that? They're trying to punch me in the face. I want a weapon. They were like, just go home. So I lost. But next time I'll win. So this is a subscriber request. This is Greg Messick again. He asked me to do some video from that chapter. I found the Brandon Lawson one. I kind of know a little bit about the story, not a whole lot, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. If you like these videos, you got to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, or YouTube will cancel your account. It's not my rules. This is YouTube's. It's YouTube's. So let's just go ahead and get into the video, and why waste your time?
Here's a disturbing missing person story for you guys. Around 1 a.m. August 8th, 2013, 26-year-old Brandon Lawson.
I apologize to some people for the captions. I can understand the guy. It's not the British thing. I was told that there are moments when maybe you're not quite sure what's said, so the captions are good, even though the captions may not be 100% accurate, but it's better in situations like this to do them. So there you go. And because he's using actual audio for things like that, so I might be reading them in certain times. Sorry, I just hiccuped.
Was in a field in Texas and called 911. In the call, it's hard to hear what he says, but he sounds distressed and panicked. He gets cut off, and then he is never heard from again. In the call, it sounds like he ran into something and then was chased through the woods. He sounds very distressed.
911 emergency.
Yes, I'm in the middle of the field. The safer just pushed some guys over. Right here going towards Javelin on both sides. My truck ran out of gas. There's one.
So apparently it doesn't help to have the closed caption on then. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn it off since it's not helping here.
To the woods. Please hurry.
Okay, now run that by me.
We're not talking to him. I actually ran into him.
I'm sorry.
You ran into him. Okay.
I'm going to go back to the beginning. I apologize. To the beginning of the call.
Distressed.
911 emergency.
Yes, I'm in the middle of the field. The safer just pushed some guys over. Right here going towards Javelin on both sides. My truck ran out of gas. There's one car here. Got chasing to the woods. Please hurry.
Okay, now run that by me.
We're not talking to him. I actually ran into him.
You ran into him. Okay.
Got the first guy.
Do you need an ambulance?
Yeah, no, I need the cops.
Okay. Is anybody hurt? Hello?
Did he say he ran into a state trooper who had pulled some guy over, and then he ran into the first guy? But was that beginning part, the state trooper pulled someone over, and then when he said he ran into him, did he drive his car into him?
Hello? Hello?
I guess I don't know this story.
The call is pretty terrifying. The thing is, Brandon actually had a felony warrant out for his arrest.
Oh shit.
But he was more scared of whatever he ran into, whoever he ran into, out there in the middle of nowhere, than he was of going back to jail, because he specifically requests police.
Okay, so I thought he ran into a state trooper, which, if he has a warrant out for his arrest and he runs into a state trooper, then why would he have called and wanted police? So what am I talking about?
Let's go back and get the whole story. Brandon Lawson was a 26-year-old man from San Angelo, Texas. He was an oil field worker, partner, and father of 4 children. August 8th, 2013 was the last time that Brandon was seen in San Angelo. He and his longtime girlfriend got into an argument, which led to Brandon leaving the home at around 11:54 p.m. with the intentions of going to his father's residence. Approximately 45 minutes later, Brandon called his brother Kyle to tell him he had run out of gas. Following his phone call to his brother Kyle, something happened, and Brandon phoned 911. He advised the dispatcher that he was in a field and needed help and needed police help. Another call was made to 911 by a passerby regarding Brandon's truck parked crooked on the side of the road, posing a hazard. That 911 call Brandon made was the last he was ever heard from. A few minutes later, somebody else, a passerby, called 911 also and said that they had seen a truck, Brandon's truck, parked dangerously on the side of the road. So then Kyle and Kyle's girlfriend, they go out to bring Brandon their gas can, as Brandon had, before he called 911, said he was out of gas. Kyle and his girlfriend phoned Brandon's partner to tell her that Brandon ran out of gas and he needed their gas can. She told him she would leave it on the porch as she was going to have a shower and head to bed. Kyle's check, however, it didn't clear in his bank
Oh, $1.75 in gas. You remember that?
account, so he didn't have money to fill the gas can. But he figured that when he got to Brandon, they could drive together to a nearby mart. Brandon could pay for the gas, and then he would drive him back to his truck, and Kyle and his girlfriend could be on their way home. So Kyle and his girlfriend, they go to Brandon's house, they pick up an empty gas can, and they go to Brandon's truck. However, the second 911 call, the one by the passerby who seen the truck parked awkwardly, that led to a sheriff's deputy being sent out. He arrived at about the same time as Kyle and his girlfriend did. Details though of the call, the passerby who seen the truck, that call has never been made public, so who knows who that was, what it was about. Maybe they...
Why wouldn't they release that phone call? They released Brandon's. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Brandon Swanson was the name that I knew. As I say, none of this was making sense to me. Sorry, that's a side note. Why wouldn't they release that 911 call, though? They released his.
have more information, we'll get into it. The truck was located on US 227, 4.5 miles south of Bronte, Texas, and close to a rest stop, parked haphazardly. By the time Kyle arrived at 1:10 a.m., August 9th, there was no sign of Brandon. And this would have been, within 20 minutes of Brandon's 911 call. There was no visible damage to Brandon's truck, and his keys and his cell phone were missing. It is understood that neither the deputy or Kyle were aware that Brandon himself had phoned 911. While talking with the deputy, Kyle received a call from Brandon in which Brandon's cell was going in and out and he was hard to understand. Brandon claimed he was 10 minutes up the road. He also mentioned that he was bleeding. The phone went dead at this point. What Kyle understood was, I'm in the field. Kyle felt maybe Brandon was hiding in the field due to an outstanding warrant from 2 years ago, so Kyle made no mention to the deputy of Brandon being the phone call he was listening to. Had Kyle known that Brandon himself had called 911, he probably would have mentioned it to the deputy and he wouldn't have assumed he was hiding from the police. There was an extensive search of the area.
So the officer that responded because of the other person calling, because his car was parked crooked on the street. So he didn't know about the 911 call, that cop. He didn't know about Brandon's 911 call. Brandon's brother shows up having a phone call from him, but not knowing that Brandon also called 911. Is that accurate so far? Did it say if Brandon called his brother before he called 911, or was it after? Or did I miss that? Clear it up in the comments for me. My mind is trying to keep track of all the calls.
Nothing ever turned up, and he was never seen nor heard from again. And even Brandon's family were unaware that he himself had called 911 until they viewed the cell phone records later. There has been no activity on Brandon's bank accounts or his cell phone since that time. An extensive search was conducted by Professional Search and Rescue on October 24th, 2013, around the area of the abandoned truck. Brandon's family doesn't believe that his outstanding felony warrant is connected to his disappearance, and they also believe he would not have run from the police.
The case type says involuntary. So wouldn't that mean that he obviously did not go voluntarily? He's missing not on his own volition. So if it's involuntary, it would seem like they would be trying harder, because it doesn't seem like they're really trying right now.
Because of it. He worked in the oil industry at the time of his disappearance and left behind 4 children. 3 with his girlfriend and 1 from a prior relationship. Although investigators have stated that there's no evidence of foul play in this case,
4 kids.
His family stated it's uncharacteristic of him to leave without warning, and they were afraid for his safety. He is classified as an involuntarily missing person, and his case remains unsolved. So, what happened to Brandon Lawson? The local newspaper of Coke County, the Observer Enterprise, which, it should be noted, is owned by the sheriff of the county, published some interesting reports. The newspaper is run by Melinda McCutcheon, wife of Sheriff McCutcheon. Posts titled, "Law Enforcement Concludes Man is Not in Coke County," which is, unless they have information that says otherwise, impossible to prove. There have been many misunderstandings, misinterpretations, and blatant lies shared on Facebook over the last almost 8 weeks regarding the missing man Brandon Lawson. It ends with, "In conclusion, there were many poor decisions made that night and during the next few days. However, they weren't made by the Coke County Sheriff's Office." Almost like she has a vested interest in defending the sheriff. What are the odds? Here's another statement. "The driver was not at the vehicle when Chief Deputy Brandon Neal arrived just after 1 a.m. However, at this time, investigation has revealed that Brandon Lawson was hiding in the bush due to an outstanding felony warrant, watching Deputy Neal while speaking to his brother, Kyle Lawson, on his cell phone. Does that strike you as maybe a little bit odd? You know, considering the fact that Brandon called 911 specifically asking for police help. Why would he hide when they actually showed up? So let's go back and take another look at.
Question. He called 911. He didn't know where he was, so they would have had problems getting there right away. But then somebody else called because of his car, so that did get them there. But there was no connection as to, did the cop look up the vehicle and say, oh, okay, I have Brandon Lawson's vehicle here. And they were like, oh, he called 911 earlier tonight. Like, did they ever think about piecing it together that way? And then the officer would have known, oh, okay, he's parked like this, something happened, he called 911, and then when the brother showed up, he could have informed the brother, hey, your brother called 911, the vehicle's parked like this, something could be wrong. Because then if he called his brother, if Brandon Lawson called his brother and said, I'm in a field and I'm bleeding, he could have pieced that together with the cop, and maybe they could have went out and found him. I feel like I'm just missing. I mean, there's 4 minutes left in this video, but I feel like there's so much that I'm missing.
That phone call. A popular theory is that Brandon encountered some kind of situation on the highway that night. Some have raised the possibility of police involvement. However, this doesn't...
I said I thought that he said he ran into a sheriff. That's what I thought he said at the beginning.
mean that the authorities are responsible for his disappearance at all.
Nope, it doesn't mean that.
He could have encountered something else entirely that just wasn't investigated properly, or it was mishandled by police. Brandon's 911 call certainly makes it sound as though there are multiple parties.
Escaper just punching guys over right here, going towards. Escaper just punching guys over. A trooper, well, a sheriff just pulling guys over right here. I don't know what escaper is. I don't know what punching is. Is that some kind of code?
Involved. Another thing is that people have raised the possibility that there were people with Brandon when he makes the call, as some think you can hear other voices in the background of his call. Details about the other 911 call, the call made by the passerby who seen Brandon's truck, that's never been made public, so who knows who that was. It was anonymous. Did they know something happened? Maybe they have more information. It would have been made very shortly after Brandon's call, and they were in the same area, so who knows about that. It also came out that at about 12:30, when Brandon called Kyle, he said, 3 expletives are chasing me out of town. The Mexicans in the neighborhood. Kyle then asked if he was tripping, if he was on drugs causing him to hallucinate. But Brandon denied it was all in his head. So was he chasing?
What the hell's happening? Does he have a history of drug use? Was he drunk?
Instead of town? Was he on drugs? Some have speculated that he wasn't in his normal state of mind. His previous warrant was for drugs, and he may have relapsed, though the last person to see him alive, his partner, said he was not under the influence that night. He was also stressed out. They had argued and Brandon was about to start a new job. An audio specialist enhanced the call, changing the transcript a little but still largely inconclusive.
911 emergency.
Yes, I'm in the middle of the field. The tank was just pushing guys over. Right here going towards Javelin on both sides. My truck ran out of gas. There's one car here that got chasing to the woods. Please hurry.
Okay, now run that by me.
I'm not talking to him. I actually ran into him.
Ah, you ran into him. Okay.
That's the first guy.
Do you need an ambulance?
Yeah. No, I need the call.
Okay. Is anybody hurt? Hello? Hello? Hello?
So that's kind of all we have to go on. Who knows what happens
Damn.
to Brandon Lawson? If he was under the influence, you'd think he would have been more careless. There would be tracks, scuffle, that sort of thing. If he was murdered, you think maybe it might be blood. Again, there'd be some kind of scuffle marks, probably. Track marks, at least. If he tried to make himself disappear by just walking off into the desert, you'd think, again, there would be tracks, and an extensive search was conducted shortly after. I think you would have found something. If the police made him disappear, well, that's something else entirely. It is a strange and bizarre case. People are...
If the police made him disappear, you can't say that every single police officer in that precinct is guilty of, being a bad cop. You can't accuse all of them. Is it possible that there are a few? There are possibly a few in every precinct. You can't, just like every neighborhood could have one person who's capable of being a terrible human being. They may be great to their neighbors, great to family, great to friends. Terrible human being. But yeah, I wouldn't say that every cop in the precinct would be bad. And if you're a good cop in the precinct and there are rumors that one of your cop brothers may have dispatched someone, but why would he do it? What's the purpose of it? It's in Texas, so would it be drugs? Like cartels, moving drugs and stuff like that, and maybe he ran out of gas in an area where, well, look, if you're a sheriff, you're not going to, hey, look, we regularly meet here in this area. I don't know Texas. I don't know how close it is to the Mexican border. I don't know any of that. This case is crazy because there's nothing either way.
Still searching for him. There are many websites and web pages dedicated to finding out what happened to Brandon Lawson. The sheriff's office say they regularly get calls asking if there has been any new information uncovered. But to them, it's a unsolved, closed, cold case. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video.
This is more infuriating because there's nothing. Wow. I don't know enough off of that to really know what happened. I'm going to look into this one. This one was interesting. I hope there's more to this. Or maybe update. Well, I think there wouldn't be any updates. I don't know. I'm going to end this video here, and I want to thank Greg again for picking the channel. I did pick the video. I apologize if this wasn't the video you had in mind. Hit me up in the comments and tell me what video from that chapter in particular you would like, and I will go from there. And thanks everyone. Have a good night. Have a good day, whatever time it is, and goodbye.